So we are ready. We're live. Good evening, Miss Myrna Young. And
Good
first
evening.
thing, yes, good evening. I just want to say thank you for taking time out to talking with me this evening. And yes, like the others, you are a busy lady, so I appreciate, your effort. That's one to just think about me for 15 or 20 minutes so we can have this conversation, this enlightening conversation that we know that will help other people. I'm also happy about this conversation or this interview because you're my sister. Not my biological sister, but you're my sister from my homeland. So this
Yes,
is
let's
good.
say it,
This is good.
Guyana.
Yeah, Guyana. We're all from South America, so this is definitely a privilege to actually doing this interview this evening. So thank you, thank you. First, I would like to introduce you to my viewers, of course, my subscriber. Let me just tell you who Miss Myrna Young is. Miss Myrna Young is a life coach and host of the Transform Your Mind with Coach. And when I looked at the things that Miss Myrna Young is doing to help people, to motivate people, and not only physically, but using their mind, because we all say everything starts within the mind. So if you nourish the mind, you train the mind, that's where you definitely filter down to you, your entire body. So I must say that your work that you're doing, you're starting from the source where we all should start, which is the mind. So thank you for the great work that you're doing diligently.
Well,
Diligently.
well, thank you for the invitation. And, I like collaborating and I like my people. So,
Oh,
yeah, we're in
yeah.
the space where we want to impart on our knowledge into, our audience that can do a little bit of encouragement.
Yes,
So, yes.
yes. And this time we need to encourage people. So much that is happening in the world right now. We need to share more love and understanding with people and understand what is happening in people's headspace. There's a pandemic, of course, and we're not sure what happening tomorrow. People are losing loved ones, people are losing their jobs, and we just gotta try and fight for peace and calm wherever we go. So the motivation definitely is needed. So I appreciate everything that I'm starting that you would be about to depart or to impart to me and my viewers this evening. Thank you. So I want to jump quickly into what I want to talk to you about. And of course, our topic is law of attraction. That's your area and, strong advocate in law of attraction. So I start with my first question. To define law of attraction, to define law of attraction in its simplest term is where your thoughts as a force pushes you physically to turn things into reality. So if our thoughts are our guide, why are some people more successful than others? Both sets of people are thinking the same thing: to get rich, to be wealthy, to be happy, to be healthy, to have that picket fence, to have that good relationship, to have good children. We all want that thing or those things that are perfect. Some get them, some don't. So if some get the things that they desire in life and they achieve those things, why are the difference? What are the difference between the two? Why one will be able to achieve it as against the other? What are your views, Miss Mornia?
Well, great question. Great intro. The law of attraction works with your vortex. And your vortex is your unmanifested goals and desires. Because anything that you think, you've already brought it forward. So when you think about something, let's say you want a Benz, you want a car, you want a wife, a husband, or whatever it is you want. As soon as you think it, don't want to get too deep, but the law of quantum physics says that nothing is real until you think about it,
Yes,
until you acknowledge it, right?
definitely.
So as soon as you think about something, it's in your vortex, which is this unmanifested space. I love Abraham Hicks. She is the one that
Ooh,
you know
yes.
has the biggest teachings on the law of attraction and the vortex. So the difference between getting what's in your vortex and not getting what's in your vortex, your unmanifested potential, is your thoughts. So the people that do say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get that house. I'm going to have this job. I don't care when it comes because, God doesn't work in our time. He works in his own time. But I know it's going to come. I can see it. I am living in the energy of when it comes. And you actually believe it.
Yes.
And there's something that says, think, believe, receive. The belief is the middle part here.
Okay.
So if you think about it, you draw it to you. If you
Yes.
believe about it, then you actually get to see it. And the third part is when you're believing in it, you put emotion in it. So, a lot of times when I go to church and I'm praying, I feel the Holy Spirit. I'm like, tears are running down my eyes. That is how you manifest. You
Yes.
have to have a happy feeling. You have to cry. You have to bring some kind of emotion.
Yeah.
Now,
So
on the other hand, let's say that you see this beautiful red Mercedes and you want this red Mercedes and you're thinking, you know what, I can't wait until I get this Mercedes. But at the same time, as soon as you think about it, your thoughts are going to say, but I can never afford that. It will never happen. And that cancels out immediately what is in your vortex. So belief is a very important part there. And you got to believe, and you can't put a time limit on it either. So sometimes I shouldn't say that, because as a coach I also know that if you're setting a goal, you have to have it, you have to have a time goal. But it's different when you just leave it up to the universe, which is what the law of attraction is about. It's a universal law. If you leave it up to the universe to bring it to you, then it happens in God's time.
definitely. And I just want to add, and what you're saying is so true. But I always believe law of attraction has to do with the different steps you say. One, you meditate or you pray about it. You meditate about it. Of course, you put it in your subconscious, it move from your subconscious into your conscious. And I always say, whatever you try to manifest, it's not going to come to you just like that. You have to put some kind of action into it. So those for me have worked over the years, and it's some of the process, like you said, of course, dealing with the vortex is something now that I've learned that I'll definitely add to what I know. But I always believe nothing comes to you if you do not make that step. You have to take action. So thank you so much for that answer. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to jump into the second question. And it says, like attract like is a locution that is used frequently. However, it is known that people attract people who are similar in thoughts. What do I mean when I say that? Have you ever looked at two people that look totally different in their exterior, but they attract each other? And you ask, what are your views on that, Miss Myrna Young?
Yeah, well, there are two different thoughts here. The first is, people attract what they're releasing into the atmosphere. For example, you've heard of women getting into abusive relationships after abusive relationships. Why is that? Because they're attracting these relationships, and we know that, and they know that. And how are they attracting these relationships? Because their thoughts is what they give out, is their energy, right? Is their aura. And the abusive guys or girls or whoever, because women abuse too, they can read that.
Yeah.
So that's what they keep attracting all the time. And one of the things they're saying to themselves, which is the crazy thing, is that when they leave one abusive relationship, they're saying, I don't want to get back into a relationship like that. I am looking for a nice guy. I'm not looking for an abusive relationship.
That's
But
true.
that is the strange thing about the law of attraction, is that whatever you think about, you bring about. So if you're saying to yourself, I don't want this, whether it's I don't want an abusive relationship, I don't want to be poor, whatever it is you're saying you don't want, that is what you're attracting because it's in your thoughts. And the thoughts attract, whether it's negative or whether it's positive, it attracts it. So instead of someone saying, I don't want to be in another abusive relationship, or I don't want this, or I don't want that, instead, the thing to do is to put in your mind's eye, or even write it down on paper, that you're perfect mate. Of course, there's no perfect people, but in your mind, hey,
Yeah.
like Les Brown
Create
says,
that person in our
stars,
yeah.
you're gonna get to the, you're gonna, you get to the moon or something, right? So my point is that you put it in your mind, put it in your thoughts about the kind of man that you want, and that's what's going to show up. You don't say what you don't want. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the second part of the question is, why do people go into unions? Because of society. You know, society has always said that um, this is a good woman or this is a good man. And a lot of people go around with their lists
Yeah.
of what they want as a good woman or a good man or whatever. That's not really the law of attraction. It's just you choosing, not necessarily for love, but you're choosing, you're checking the boxes. You know what I mean? So does that answer the question?
I like that. Okay, as an advocate for law of attraction, do you think that people who go into unions because, yes, that question again pops up, society, family ties, or even culture may sometimes experience fractures in that union, which leads to challenges or even total separation? Do you believe that it was eminent to fail because that person wanted to satisfy other person's expectation rather than being self-fulfilled as a person? What are your views on that, Ms. Yap?
Well, again, my personal views is that I believe in soulmate, I believe in love,
Yeah.
and I believe that nobody can choose your partner for you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Not if you want to go the romantic way. um, but, you know, my pastor always says that love is a choice, it's not a feeling. So you can learn to love somebody. I mean, there's so many different views on that.
Yeah.
And I think that they're both correct because I mean, in the olden days, there used to be arranged marriages where people would meet their spouses like a couple of weeks before, or maybe even in the day of the marriage, and they make a commitment to each other to love each other. And those marriages are more successful than the ones that go with feelings and emotions because your feelings and emotions change.
Yes.
you know I've
Yeah.
got so many instances in my personal experience where somebody is crazy about somebody. They fireworks go off and they're so much in love, and then it just dies because it's a feeling. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, there's always two sides to it, so yeah.
Yeah. But I believe to this to add there that I believe over a period of time, sometimes when we talk about love is a feeling and it's a choice, which is both, people tend to fall out of love. I think over a period of time, if you're with somebody and there's love there, sometimes something gets wear and tear somewhere, and you ask yourself why. But then you see somebody would have been married for 42 years or 15 years, 20 years, and then that marriage is no longer. And you say, but what happened? But we have to understand, like you said, that feeling just goes. It just goes. And there's nothing we can do to actually bring it back when it goes. So I do believe, I have that belief that people actually do fall out of love over a period of time, be it today or be it 10 years. I do believe people
On to more,
actually
right?
fall out of love.
Hmm.
Okay, so thank you for that answer. And I'll move to my next. question. Okay, so nature aborts as a vacuum. Nature aborts a vacuum. In life, sometimes we have to make some tough decisions. That is so true. The law of attraction encourages removing negative things or people from your life to fill it with positive things. If you want to grow, if you want to develop, you know, and in certain areas of your life. And that is never comfortable because you have to either receive that action from someone, they're removing you from their life because they want to do something else, or you're removing that person from your life because you want to grow and you're seeing with that person you're not getting to that level that you want to. And that's a tough decision. How do you go about a conversation to tell someone that you want to change in your life, and where you are you feel like you're not fulfilled, you want to do more, you want to give more to the world, you want to be of service more to the world in a very positive way, you feel unfulfilled as a person. And if that person is not willing to go that level with you, it's like I read a celebrity saying, she is willing to give up that fame to serve God, to go to the Philippines and just serve God. Like, how is it that you have a conversation with your loved one? I know some will cheer you along, that vehicle, they will be happy for you. And some will not be happy for you because it's either you leaving them behind or they're leaving you behind. How do you create that balance, Miss Young, to tell that person, you know, I want more, like how do you do it? Yeah. From a love attraction perspective, how do you do it?
Yeah. Great question, Nicole. Yeah. If you decide that certain people in your inner circle are too negative,
Yeah.
then you have to make a decision to be around positive people, so that the law of attraction can bring you what you desire. That you all you have to so you have to ask them to leave. And that's always a difficult thing to do,
Yeah.
because you
It is.
can't do it without hurting their feelings. But negative people are like a cancer, and you have to remove them. So yeah, that's basically
Yeah.
what I believe that.
There's no way around that, right? We just have to do what we have to do. It might be a little selfish, but it's a self because this is one life we have to live on. What would be your best advice as a love and attraction advocate to someone whose vibration is pretty low and want to bounce back quickly?
Yeah. um the law of attraction only works in the right direction when you are in a positive frequency.
Yeah.
Else you're attracting the things you don't want, like I mentioned earlier. So one of the ways that you can raise your frequency is by doing gratitude meditations.
Yes.
I do a gratitude meditation before I get out of bed most mornings. I'm supposed to do it every morning, but I don't remember. But I listened to Louise Hay's gratitude meditation one day, and it's so powerful. My goodness, she has you thanking for your plumbing, your toilet, your lights, your bed. People might think, okay, I got to be thankful for the money in my bank, or I got to be thankful that I have a spouse. But you could be thankful for life, breath,
Yes.
plumbing, a stove that you can cook on,
Yes.
a fridge. We
Yay.
grew up in Guyana. We know that a lot of people don't have those things.
Yeah.
So, but we come into this land of milk and honey, and we forget that 90% of the world doesn't have the things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
So you can be so you can do a gratitude meditation, and that raises your frequency.
Yeah.
It also makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And the way to raise your frequency is to feel good. And you know something, the crazy thing about it too is, let's say that you go to bed mad at your husband or your partner or friend or whatever. If you get up in the morning and you're grateful for them, that madness or anger leaves because you're grateful for them.
Yes.
So gratitude is a big thing, and a lot of stars and influencers are talking about their morning routine,
Yeah.
and their morning routine includes, a gratitude meditation.
That's right. Yep.
And yeah, and I mentioned Abraham from Extra his teachings, and she teaches you to activate the law of attraction and your vortex by trying to reach for your best feeling thoughts. So when you're feeling bad, you do this, affirmations or something to make yourself feel good. And you think good thoughts, you feel good, and you stuff your vortex and increase your positive vibration by thinking good thoughts, you know and you can also do, not only think, but you also can do positive things like walking in nature, meditation, singing your favorite song, hugging your loved ones. I don't know if you get hugs like I get from my husband. It puts me in a great mood.
I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. What I mean, I live alone, but I'm a hugger. I hug. I remember coming from my country, of course, in Ghana. When I used to work with the UN, we hug from the time we hit the door to our
Yeah,
desk. We hug at the UN. United
yeah.
Nations,
It
they
makes
are
you feel
big
good.
hugging. Yeah, so that's a good one. Thank you. And do you believe that Rhonda Bryce rhetoric, because I call it a rhetoric, of how she was able to get millions of people to react to her book, and the passion that people had for her book? Do you think people had that in them already, that passion to manifest and pull things to them, or they were waiting on someone to lead them there? Because I always believe we all have passion to do something in life. You know, you have to have a dream, a goal. You want to become a lawyer, become a doctor, travel the world, whatever it is, you have to have something. But for you to manifest it, some of us were not aware of how to do it. But I think her book had a niche to push it. Do you think her book did it, or we had that inside of us all along? What are your views?
Oh yeah. Well, listen, I love Rhonda Bryan.
Yeah.
I have not read her latest book, and it is actually The Greatest Secret. Um,
Whoa.
I listened to her on a podcast recently, and I was so impressed. And she reminded me, they say knowledge is only powerful when you use it, because we all have all kinds of knowledge in our head, but we
Yeah.
don't always use it. And I was a big proponent of The Secret when it came out. I don't know, 10 years ago or however long it was. I had my vision board and I was doing all the things. And then I totally forgot about it until I heard her on the podcast the other day and talking about her book, The Greatest Secret. Now, I haven't listened to that because, I listen to podcasts and audiobooks when I walk every morning, but I haven't listened to it. But what I did do is I went back and I downloaded again The Secret and listened to it again. And I was so inspired. Yeah, I mean, the same thing that you just talked about there, about the bills or whatever,
Mhm.
that's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
She was talking about when, before she, for those that, listen that don't know the story, but she was talking about um, before, when she was trying to do The Secret, that she was a producer and was $2 million in debt. And every time she would go to the mail, her body would tense up. She would be worried about all these bills are coming in and she can't pay. And then all of a sudden, she decided to think that these bills were checks. And then, she decided, because she was so much in debt, she decided to
Whoa.
put a zero on it. So let's say somebody sent her a bill for $1,500 or
That
something.
she owes.
Put
Uh-huh.
a zero on it and make it a $15,000 check that somebody is sending her.
Wow.
Listen, you've got to,
That's powerful stuff there. Yes.
yep, yep. People, and you listen. I've heard, there's so many people that can tell you that you can visualize things into
Yeah.
your life.
I
It
believe
is
you
not, it
also.
is not rhetoric. It can actually happen. You know, um, uh, I will tell you that I've done that,
Yeah.
and it's happened for me. I think one of your questions is going to be, you know, my experience with the law of attraction, but it can happen.
Yeah.
And not only did she come out of $2 million in debt, but she is now a multi-millionaire on top of that. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
it works.
you can do it. It takes a lot of um, dedication and
Yeah.
skill because you got to work it.
It's
You know,
work. It's a
I
lot
call
of
it my
work.
energy work. And
Yeah.
I do energy work. When you get into your energy work, you're talking about your good feelings because you got to be feeling good. You're
Yeah.
talking about feeling the emotion
Yeah.
of having it. You know, you got to shed a few tears. You know, you've got to work it. And I do. You've got to see the images in your mind, think about it, and attract it. And by the way, we attracted each other. You know, one of the things that I said to myself for 2021 is that I want to get my radio program and podcast into the Caribbean, including Guyana. And I just thought of Guyana, and then you reached
Then
out
it
to me.
pop up in my
Yes,
invitation. Yeah. Well, what you don't
mainly
know.
because of the Guyana tag, because you know we got to share it with our less fortunate. You know,
Yeah. You
the
have
third world countries are living in lack, and they can get themselves out of lack with their thoughts.
definitely. And you know what is so funny? What you didn't know is that I was looking at you. I was checking out your videos on LinkedIn. I was definitely checking you out. So I was like, I have to. So 2021, of course, I have these lists of people that I would like to interview. Yes, I'm manifesting too, but I want to share with you a manifestation that I did in work. Where I'm living now, I don't want to say where I'm living, but of course, I'm living in New Jersey. When I was living in Brooklyn, and I came to New Jersey and I was like, okay, I'm looking for an apartment. So let us say that I want to live in an area that's say purple. Just say I want to live in Purple Street. You know what I do? I started to wearing purple. I started when I go to shop, I buy everything purple. I swear, if I'm going to do anything in the computer, I'm doing it in purple. I started pulling the things to me where I want to go. And I'm telling you here, as testimony today, it came true. It
Yeah,
came
yeah,
through. And
yeah.
when it did, I was like, whoa. And it just clearly showed me your mind, your passion, and your action. It must be in sync with each other, and you can
Yeah.
accomplish anything. And once you have good thoughts, too, like you said, that vibration is high, you'll be able to accomplish it. So it did work for me. Thank you for that. So
Okay.
we have two more questions. Yes. This is a small one, actually. Miss Myrna Young, what did you accomplish? What would have worked for you through you using the law of attraction?
Yes, of course. Listen, this is my space. You know, my first book, I wrote my first book in 2014,
Ooh,
and it talked about, thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
talked about, all these things about the vortex, manifestation, synchrodestiny, all these things, and it's my space. So, I've been doing this for a while, and, because I meditate every day, I have a connection to the universe. And
yeah,
I'm not very good at seeing pictures, but it works for me if I think about it, because I'm an auditory person. I'm not a visual person.
mm,
And, I can't see the pictures, but I can think about it. And when I think about it, I manifest it.
yeah,
And the crazy thing about it, it's like it's almost I believe because, as soon as I think about something, I said to myself, you know what? Tomorrow it's going to show up in my inbox. And
whoa.
sure enough, it does. It's
I
really
like
amazing.
that.
Anything that I think about that I want, somebody sends me an email. Of course, I get like 200 emails a day, but somebody sends me an email and it shows up in my inbox. It is absolutely amazing. But the one that I want to share with you guys is this past December. We're now in January, so it's just about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
I'm a realtor. That's where I make most of my income. And I said to the universe, God, the universe, both
Correct.
things.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I said, you know what? I want to be able to sell a property and close it before the end of the year. I mean, I want to have income in my bank account
Yeah.
before the end of the year.
2020.
And
Yeah.
almost 2 days later, I get this text message from a wholesaler that had a property where I live here in Fort Myers. That's where my real estate business is.
Mm.
And I also receive inspiration a lot of times. You know, I wake up in the morning and I listen for inspiration. And all of a sudden, I had inspiration to send this property to one of my investors.
Okay.
And he bought it. The crazy thing about it is
Mm.
that he told me later on is that he'd already seen this property, but he didn't think it was a good deal until I sent it to him.
Okay.
So he thought it was a good deal. He made an offer. They accepted. Closed the deal closed on December 12th. By
Mhm.
December the 20th, I had $5,000 in my bank account because that was the commissions on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
So
and
that's
I
how
really,
law of
you know, all
attraction.
I did,
Yes.
all I did was forward an email.
An email.
I
That.
didn't even have to do any work
Yeah.
other than I was the connecting person, you know what I mean, in this. So it works. And I have a whole list because, you know, whenever these things happen, I journal it and I write it down because I forget stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I write it down. So yeah, because that's how you can remember it.
Yes.
But
And
yep.
journaling is very good. Journaling has worked. I remember in 2017, I journaled for a whole year, and then I got lazy after that. But you know what is so funny? This is definitely the universe bringing us together to collaborate. I wrote my first book in 2017, and I actually published it in 2018. And I'm on
Okay.
my second book right now. It's taking
Oh,
a
good
long
for
time
you.
because I'm back and forth with my second book. But so it is something that I want to do. But for my this second book that I'm working on, I want to put a little more into it, a little more research. I want to get more details. I want to be more analytical. I want to go in depth. I want to collaborate a little more with writers like myself, people who would have been in the business for many, many, many years, of course. And now that I have you, Miss Young, so I'm going to be talking to you
What
about
is your book about?
that. Okay, so to give it a nutshell, basically, it's a Doctor Who would have, I'm giving away a little bit here, but a Doctor Who would have actually been a doctor for over 35 years. And what he did is that he was a general practitioner, but he was helping people, saving lives. And there was one time he actually delivered a baby, and he deemed this baby dead, flatline. And he stood for 5 to 10 minutes and see this baby just brought come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't believe. He said science failed him. So what he did, he got paranoia. He wanted to study this child. He actually ruined his marriage just trying to get close to this child, trying to find it because he knew that this child was dead. What
Mm-hmm.
is it that brings this child back to life? What being? What penetrate this child's life to bring this baby back to life? So yeah, the book have a lot of twists and turns. So I'm there. I'm there.
Sounds good.
It's my
Excellent. All
mind. Yeah, I have a very creative mind. So
right.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'll be knocking at your door gently. But yeah, so this is a year definitely I do want to do a few things, and I have passion for doing little interviews and my little podcast, just to interview and have this little motivation talks for people. So yes, for sure. So thank you for that answer. Last but by no means least, what are your future plans for your podcast and website in this 2021, Miss Young? Tell my viewers
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
have, what
yeah. I'm a
you can
coach. So, you know, I'm
expect.
always going to have some goals and I'm going to always reach for the stars or something.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know, mom, for the listeners that don't know, my show is called The Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life with Coach Myrna Young.
Yeah. And I'm
And
going to put it at the
it
bottom of my
airs,
Facebook page and my YouTube. Yes.
it airs in Atlanta on WDJY 99.1 FM.
Okay.
And for those online, they can listen to it at WDJYFM.com. The show is converted to a podcast, and it's on all the podcast players, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, them all, about 11 or so of them. And, my main website, which is the show page, is blog.myhelps.us.
Okay.
And so my vision for 2021 is like I mentioned to you, I want to get it out to as many people as possible, get the message out that you can transform your mind to transform your life. It all starts in your mind. Whatever you think about, you can bring about. It's not just cliche. It is the truth. And yeah, I want to get into the Caribbean islands. I want to get my podcast and radio in Guyana and Jamaica, Trinidad, Grenada's and those type of things. I want to, I'm Caribbean born, and I think that this message should be in the hands of Caribbean people. I mean, my podcast is listened to around the world. Russia, Germany, all these places, but I don't see any Guyana on there. I
Well,
don't see
yeah,
any
we need to
Jamaica
pull
on
up
there.
here.
The other day it was the number one podcast in um, what is it? The U.S. Virgin Islands. So I didn't even know how that happened. But so that's that is basically my goal. So maybe we're starting something here, Miss Nicole.
Yes,
Maybe
definitely. You
this little video that we're doing.
maybe it definitely would open doors only God knows. But of course, we're putting it out into the universe. Yeah, we wanted to meet as much people as possible, and of course, our homeland and those people in South America and the Caribbean mostly. We would love them to actually, experience from our discussion here how law of attraction works for anyone.
Yeah,
Shift
yeah, yeah, yeah.
mindset, yes. And, you as an advocate, I've listened to all that you said tonight and everything that you said. Of course, if we just apply it to our lives, we definitely can achieve what we plan to achieve and what we put our mind to achieve. So that was my last question, Miss Young, and so sad, but I'm enjoying this, but I know it has to come to an end, right? But
Well,
I
you
enjoy.
did good. And, thank you for, suggesting this collaboration.
Yeah,
Thank you for the topic, the law of attraction. It
yeah,
is a big one. And, when I think about transform your mind to transform your life, the law of attraction is right in the mix.
yes,
Because in order to transform your life by transforming your mind has to be thinking positive things. Your mind has to be, you know, yeah, feeling good. It all works in the same bucket. So this was a great question. A great topic. So I thank you for suggesting it. I thank you for wonderful questions.
thank you.
We covered the whole gamut, so
Yes,
that was pretty good.
thank
So
you. So yes, I just would like to say thank you for taking time out, like I said, busy lady, of course, just for talking with me for these couple of minutes, and I appreciate it. And I'm sure what you have penetrated today, it would definitely touch lives. It has touched my life. It will definitely touch many more. So thank you so much for the collaboration. Thank you to actually saying yes. And like I said, I feel so blessed. It's my sister from my homeland. So go Guyana. Thank you.
that's right. Yes, that's right. Go Guyana.
Go Guyana. Okay, so thank you so much. And do have a great evening.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste. Okay. Bye now.